So comments in Python. So why do we require comments in any programming language? Right? So comments are the statements which the compiler neglects. That means compiler do not execute comments. Right? Then if compiler do not execute comments, why do we require them? We require them to make the program more readable. Now what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is when I add comments before a piece of code, that comment tells me what is the following piece of code doing. So this is helpful for me to understand if I am reading that program later after some time, or if somebody else is reading my program. Right? So if I add comments, so those comments may help the reader to understand what is that piece of code doing. Right? So, but I don't want that comment to be executed by the compiler. So comments don't get executed by the compilers. Right? So then how do we write comments in Python? In Python, we use this hash symbol to write comment. So when I write anything after this hash symbol, that will not be executed by the compiler. That line is there, but that line will not be compiled or executed by the compiler. This is just for the understanding or making the program more readable. Right? Whenever compiler sees this hash symbol, it neglects whatever is following. It neglects whatever is following. So for example here, hash print hello world to console. So this line is there. This will not be executed by compiler, but it tells us, the reader, what is the following code doing. So this line, we get an intimation from this line that the following code is printing hello world to the console. So that's what this code is doing, print hello world, right? So we'll get this output. Then this is called a single line comment. When we have a comment only on one line, this is called a single line comment. So can we have comments on multiple lines? Yes, we can have comments on multiple lines. So how can we write comments on multiple line? So let's say if we have three lines of comments. So before starting this line is a comment, we put hash. This line is also a comment, we put hash before this line also, before at the start of this line. So this line is also a comment, we put hash at the start of this line. So that is how we write multi-line comments. Another way to write multi-line comments is using triple quotes. Either use a single quote or double quotes, three double quotes or three single quotes. Three single quotes, then comment on multiple lines, then at the closing you will have three triple quotes. For example, also you can use three double quotes, then this line will be comment, this line will be comment, this line will be comment, and then close the comment with these triple quotes like this. You know, these three lines are all comments, right? Comment starting, comment ending. That is how you write multi-line comments. There is something called as docstring in Python. So what is that docstring? So we have docstring at the beginning of at the beginning or in the start, or it is the first statement in a module, a function, a class, or a method definition. So for example here we have this function called as double, right, which is taking this number as an argument. Now you see this docstring is written with three double quotes, and it ends with three double quotes. So whatever you write in these three double quotes, between these three double quotes, so that will be called as a docstring, right? So now let us, if I call this function print double 10, so only this body of this function will get it. This is not a body of the, it is sort of a comment. So this tells us what is that function doing. This is a docstring which tells us what is that function doing, right? So this function is a function to double the number. This function doubles a number passed to this function, right? So this function, that's why this function is written 2 into number. So print double 2, I'm calling this double function with 10 as an argument. So this function will return me 2 into 10, 20. So I'm printing 20, right? So now if I want to see what is this double function doing, what I will do is I will simply call docstring double, name of the function, dot, that is how I call the docstring, right? Docstring is available to us as the attribute of this doc function. This is a doc function, right? So we call this doc function on this double function, right? So this doc function is getting called on this double function, right? So this doc string will return us this whatever is written in this triple quotes, right? So this line will be returned to us. So we'll get an output function to double the number. So doc string tells us what is that particular function or module or class is doing. Now Python indentation. So what is indentation? Why do we require that? Now in other programming languages like C, C++, Java, we use brackets. We use brackets to put a piece of code together, right? Either we use this brackets. In most of the programming language, we use these brackets, right? So whatever you write inside these two brackets, opening curly bracket and closing curly, that will be considered as a piece of code, right? A block of code, right? So now how do we write a block of code in Python, right? So in Python we use indentation, right? So for example, in C, if you are writing a for loop, you say for I assigns to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, right? So then you want the code which you want to repeat for this for loop, you write in this block. So this block starting with this bracket and closing with this bracket is called as body of this for loop or the block of this for loop, right? So this code, this block will be executed each time when this condition is true, right? So then in Python, how do we write a block of code together? A block of code, we write a block of code by using what is called as indentation. Python uses indentation, right? So now what is indentation, right? So let's say, how do I write that the for loop, same for loop, right? For I in range 10, right? I in range 10 when I is between 0 to 9. Range 10 means I is from 0 to 9, right? So I want to repeat something. What I want to repeat, I want to print the value of I, right? Print the value of I. So this is the body of this for loop. This is the body of this for loop. This single statement is body of this for loop. So this is the block of code inside this for, right? So if I execute this, what will I get is, right? Now, so how do we write that indentation? So at the end of this for loop, I have a cursor, I hit enter, right? Wherever this cursor goes, that in that place, I need to write my block of code starts there. For example, I say print hello, right? And then I erase this, let's say. So now my my code is this. So if I execute this, hello will be printed 10 times, right? Now next line which will be part of this block will be written immediately at wherever the cursor goes. You see, we are following this cursor, this is called as indentation. We are following the indentation. If you don't follow this, for example, if I write something here, so that will not be that will throw an error. Print I, let's say. So what will happen, let's see. You see, this is an error, unexpected indent. So this line is not part of this block, right? So this line has to be properly indented. So for example, if I have this line here, what will I get? I'll get, now you see, these two lines are part of this block, part of the for block, right? So I'll print hello, and then I'll print value of I. In the beginning, I is starting at 0, so hello 0. Then I again repeat this for loop till I goes to 9, right? So hello 1, I'll be 1 next time, I'll be 2 next time, I'll be 3 next, right? So and then if I want to come out of this for loop, right? So I write the next line out of this for loop, right? Print, let's say, out. Okay. So if I execute this, you see this out is printed only once, will be printed only once, and that because that is out of this for loop. So in order to put a uh, code block, right, for loops or for any for a function, right? So we use indentation, right? So you see this out is printed only once because this out print out is out of this for block, right? So that is how we follow. Indentation is very important in Python, right? So that is how we write indentation in Python. Now for Python statements, how do we write Python statements, right? So instruction that a Python interpreter can execute are called as statements. For example, a is equal to 1. This is a single statement. This is a single statement. So multi-line statement. If I want I want a statement which spans over multiple lines, how can I write that statement? It is like this. This statement, then this character. This is a continuation character, right? This is a continuation character. That means this is a single statement which is spanning multiple lines, right? So this is a single statement spanning multiple lines. So the value of a is 36, addition of this, right? 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to this. So the value of a is 36, which we are printing here. So that is one more way. Another way to write a statement on multiple lines is like this. Use brackets. Use brackets. So print a. This will again give us the value of a, which is in this case 36. If you add all of this, that it will be 36. Now, if you want to put multiple statements in a single line, use semicolon like this, right? So this is one statement, this is second statement, this is third statement. In these cases, in this case, this was a single statement. This was a single statement. Again, this was a single statement. Only thing is they are put on multiple lines. Single statements, a statement spanning multiple lines. You use continuation character like this backslash.